Hey guys, what is going on, and welcome back to What Shall We Do Next. I'm Mike, your fucking hell. And welcome back to What Shall We Do Next. I'm your late night spooky friend Mike, and I hope you guys are having the best day ever. Before I get started, guys, please subscribe if you are new here and you haven't already done that. We're on the road to 151,000 subscribers, and I would love you to join me on this journey. So hit subscribe right now and join the fam. But what is going on, you guys, and welcome back. And today we're gonna be doing another scary story. And this scary story is called Halloween Props. So, the story of Halloween Props is a spooky story about a young man who crashes his car in a deserted area on All Hallows Eve and goes out looking for help at an old, dilapidated house. But enough of the jibber jabber, let's jump right over to the story. Halloween Props. It was Halloween, and a young man named Robert was driving home from work. Every house he passed was decorated with Halloween props, like carved pumpkins, plastic skeletons, black paper bats, and witches on broomsticks. It reminded him of all the fun he had as a child, going from house to house, trick-or-treating. Distracted by all of the Halloween decorations, he missed his turnoff and had to take the long way back to his house. The light was beginning to grow dim, and the road was filled with twists and turns. As he came around a sharp corner, his car skidded on some loose gravel. He lost control, and his car slid off the road and plowed into a ditch. For a few moments, Robert was dazed and just sat in his car trying to regain his senses. After making sure he wasn't hurt, he got out and surveyed the damage. Apart from a few scratches, the car looked fine. The problem was the car was stuck in the ditch, and the rear wheels were raised a few inches from the ground. He would have to call a tow truck. Robert checked his pockets and discovered, to his dismay, that he had left his mobile phone at work. He was in the middle of nowhere, and he had to find a phone. He waited for a few minutes, but when no cars passed, he decided to start walking. About a mile down the road, he finally spotted a house in the distance. When he came to the gates, there was an old, rusted truck sitting in the driveway. The door of the truck was wide open, swinging in the breeze. There was nobody inside, so he continued on up to the house. It was a dilapidated old building, and some of the shutters were hanging off the windows. There was an eerie silence about the house. The only thing he could hear was the beating of his own heart and the low whistle of the cold October wind. Every now and then, a weather vane on the roof creaked as it swung around. Robert knocked on the front door a few times, but there was no answer. He was about to give up and try to find another house, when he noticed something unusual. On the other side of the house, there were some Halloween props and decorations. One of them was a rocking chair with a ragged scarecrow sitting on it. The scarecrow was wearing a skeleton mask, and as he got closer, he noticed a putrid smell. Stopping in his tracks, he stared at the scarecrow. Something didn't look right. Between the clumps of straw, he thought he could see something that looked like human skin. Filled with a strange mixture of fear and curiosity, he slowly reached out and pulled at the straw. As it fell apart, he was horrified to discover that, beneath the straw, there was a dead body. The skin was purple, and it was decomposing. Robert was still trying to recover from the shock when he heard footsteps coming from the back of the house. "Who's there?" said a voice. An old man emerged from behind the house, and as soon as he spotted Robert, he started in surprise. "Who are you? What are you doing here?" he said. Robert was trembling. There's a dead body," he croaked. The old man rushed over and examined the scarecrow, pulling at the straw. he revealed the disgusting face of an old woman. "Millie!" he shouted, his voice shaking. "Millie! What happened?" He turned to Robert, his eyes filling with tears. "Help me carry her into the house," he cried. Robert didn't know what to do. The man lifted her by the shoulders, and Robert picked her up by the feet. Together, they carried her up the front steps and into the house. They brought her into an empty room and laid her body down on the cold wooden floor. "Stay here while I call the police," the man shouted. Before Robert had a chance to reply, the old man was hurrying down the corridor. Robert stood there, still shaking, staring down at the dead woman lying at his feet. After a while, he looked around and realized that there was no furniture. The house seemed to be completely bare, and it was covered with cobwebs. There weren't even any light bulbs in the fixtures. He waited and waited, but the old man never returned. After 20 minutes had passed, he decided to try and find the old man. As soon as he walked out into the corridor, he saw the phone. It was lying on the floor at the end of the corridor, and the line had been ripped out of the wall. With a growing sense of unease, he cautiously explored the rest of the house. There was no sign of the old man. Robert began to panic and ran out of the back door. He didn't know where he was going, he just kept running. After about a half an hour, he came to a small general store that lay at the side of the road. Bursting into the shop, sweat pouring down his brow, he begged the shocked young woman behind the counter to call the police. She asked him what he was doing, but he was so out of breath that he couldn't even answer. Exhausted from all the running, he sat down on the floor and tried to calm himself down. When the police arrived, Robert told them what had happened. He got into the back of the patrol car and directed them back to the old dilapidated house. The police officer went into the house and spent 20 minutes searching it from top to bottom. They didn't find anything. There was no dead body and no old man. The house had been vacant for years. The truck in the driveway had been abandoned almost a decade ago. Robert kept insisting that he had seen a dead body with his own eyes. He gave a description of the old man to the police, but it was clear they didn't believe him. A few days later, Robert went to the police station and asked if they had come up with any information about the old man. The police officer gave him a strange look and said, "Actually, we did. We checked the property records to see who owned the house. Then we did a little asking around." "That's great," said Robert. "And what did you find out?" "Well, there was an old man who used to live in that house. Seemed like he fit your description. He had a wife too. She disappeared and nobody heard from her again. Some people suspect he murdered her and buried her in the yard, but there was never any real evidence. Just a lot of loose talk and rumors spread by the locals. Nothing concrete until now." "Well, have you arrested him?" asked Robert. "We'd like to," said the policeman. "But there's just one problem." "What's that?" asked Robert. The policeman gave a weary smile and said, "He died in 1963 on Halloween night." And that is the end of that. Holy shit, guys, did you see that coming? I didn't see that coming, but I have read a story about something like this before. Not the same story, but it was about a couple that was like on the road, and they stopped at this house and spent the night there, and then turned out later that they were actually, nobody lived in the house for like 30 years or something. So I love the way these stories end. It's a really good story. Obviously, we know what happened. He was talking to the ghost. The old man was a ghost. And the dead body was probably also a ghost, or like I guess like an apparition. Is that the word? I don't know. It was not really happening. He was just like at this abandoned old house all alone, but he was seeing all this stuff, which I guess was really happening for him. But it wasn't really happening. But I hope you guys enjoyed this story. If you did, smash a like on it. Let's see if we can go for 45,000 likes on this video. I would really appreciate that. And my question to all of you for question of the day is, did you think the old man was like an actual killer? Like, that was my first thought. I thought this old man was gonna be like the guy who killed the woman, and he got Robert to walk in the house with him so he could kill him too. I was not expecting it to be a ghost. Did you guys think the same as me? Let me know in the comment section. That is question of the day. So thank you all so much for watching. I love you all, and remember the most important thing, chase your dreams. I'll see you guys next time, and I love you guys. Peace out. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys enjoy my videos and you would like to support me and my channel more, you can go over to my Patreon. Link is in the description. I would really appreciate any help you guys have to offer, and you can become a patron of mine over there. As you can see, we have different tiers and different rewards, so if you guys want to go check it out, I would really appreciate that. Every little helps. Thank you so much. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss any future uploads. And also, guys, go follow me on all my social media. Links are in the description. I have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and even Snapchat, so go follow me on all of those. And remember, the most important thing, I love you guys, and chase your dreams.